5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you the 2001 JinAir OSL Round 16 Group B game between Stork and Shine. This is going to be an interesting matchup on Gladiator. We have Stork as the Protoss player at the 1 o'clock position and Shine as the Zerg player at the 5 o'clock position. There we see Stork there looking cool and collected. Good for him in his nice little jacket from Sansam Khan. Of course, I wonder if his teammate Jangbi is out there cheering for him. Stork, I remember, cheered for Jangbi out back in the day 1 of these OSL Round 16 games. Here's hoping that Jangbi is in the audience channeling his psionic powers into Stork. I mean, can you imagine that? Stork and Jangbi, 2 High Templars, fusing to an Archon? That'd be an unstoppable power. Now, a force of nature in itself. Oh man, I can already imagine it. But alas, can't quite have something like that. And we see some predictions there, which I cannot read, unfortunately. And that is, I can't see! It's gotta be Jangbi, I feel! It's gotta be Jangbi, I can't see! That's gotta be Jangbi, or at least one of the other Sansan Khan teammates, Gogo. Gogo? I thought he was like a cheater or something. I could be wrong about that. That has got to be the lowest of the low accusations that I can make. And you can see Stork having scouting the correct direction. I see the overpool coming out here from, at least I think that might be an overpool coming out here. Yeah, it's got to be an overpool coming out here from Shine. And there we see another symbol of some sort, JinAir or something. And oh, here's a guy who is, well, he was happy to see the camera there after he realized he was on camera. Before then, he was looking quite serious, I have to say. Good for him, I guess. But yeah, that's gotta be Jangbi. Why couldn't I see his face? And there we see another cute girl. She was from, and now she's hiding her face. She was from, Group A earlier played today between C and Haya. I remember her. Wonder if she's some sort of celebrity or something. I mean, there's only 2 possible explanations for why she's shown twice, and we can see here that Stork putting down his Nexus after the Forge in response to the Overpool into Hatchery build coming out from Shine. Looks like both players are going for fairly standard builds here on map Gladiator. Nothing too unusual. We'll see what options they have. Stork is, of course, one of the more capable players around, but he has not been performing quite up to par in recent times. Here's hoping that he puts on a convincing performance. Shine is one of these players who's great at early aggression, from what I remember of him, but I'm not quite sure whether he's capable of doing too much else. Start putting down 2 cannons to defend. Shine is actually going to be able to get Zerglings here almost in time to perhaps do some damage, but with 1 cannon up there is not going to be anything that Shine can do to break through here. There are 3 probes blocking the front. Stork trying to be as annoying as possible with his own probe there inside of Shine's base. So again, Shine is one of these more aggressive players. Let's see what he opts to do. Perhaps he'll go for the 3-hatch Hydra build. 3-hatch no-layer Hydraless attack can be very devastating against a Protoss player who is unprepared for it, and it is tricky to scout it out. Anyway, even something like 6 Hydras can do substantial damage at the front while they await reinforcements. So it's certainly a good option. There's not too much Protoss can do early on to respond to this sort of Hydra threat, except by putting down a lot more cannons, and then get some gateways to start producing ground troops. It looks like Stork is going to put a Cybernetics core there at his natural. So yeah, I am a bit disappointed that I couldn't tell whether that was Jangbi or not. I imagine it was, and perhaps after the game, they will fuse into an Archon and then crush absolutely everyone in their path. That'd be pretty epic to see. But, yeah, I put the chances of that happening at around 0%. That is pretty much not going to happen. Well, not pretty much not going to happen, it's not going to happen. But we can always fantasize, can't we? And I think it's certainly worthwhile, at least for entertainment purposes, to imagine the possibilities. Now we have Stork sneaking a little Zealot out, perhaps to do a bit of scouting. Zealot's not really going to be able to do any damage, but those Zerglings can even finish off the Zealot before it gets anywhere. in the middle of the map, and it looks like Shine is going to do that with his Zerglings, going to force Stork back, maybe get a few free hits on that Zealot, but a second Zealot coming out going to help chase away these Zerglings, looks like. And that probe still alive inside of the base. I think it's a different probe because the earlier probe was damaged, but Stork somehow bringing out a fresh probe, just still being annoying. And nice work by Shine there, not only picking out the probe in his base, but picking off one of the Zealots of Stork. So that's actually not so good. Stork is one of the greatest tactical players of all times. He really knows how to position his units and how to win battles at even when he is outnumbered and when the odds are against him. He is a master of doing so. That is his greatest strength. And I have to say his greatest weakness is his tendency to play super safe in important games. That's why he always gets to the finals, or at least used to always get to the finals, and then loses so often because he's just unwilling to do something risky, which I think you have to do in the finals. In normal games and also in the Pro League, not so necessary. Probably more important to just play consistently. But, you know, in high-stakes situations, your opponent is highly likely to have prepared extensively and prepared all sorts of tricky builds. So, that are designed to, at the very least, deal with normal builds. We see another hatchery going down here for Shine, so he's going for the 4 Gateway SimCity Hydralisk build. That is almost certainly going to be the case. Stork going to use his Corsairs to hunt down some Overlords here. He'll get 2, it looks like, perhaps. He's got another Corsair working on an Overlord in the north. He might even be able to get this third one in the middle, but perhaps not. We have a pair of Scourge, 2 pairs of Scourges, 2 pairs of Scourges out to deal with these Corsairs, and they will be forced into the base. Nothing too exciting just yet happening. Just see the standard SimCity going down. Let's see how the middle of the game progresses here. If anyone can bust down one of these SimCities by a frontal assault, it would be Stork. But I hope he has something a little more creative in mind than a direct assault on entrenched Zerg defenses. Stork baiting that pair of Scourge. Nice maneuver. That is the difference between your Storks and your second-rate Protosses. And Shine really should have had a bit more presence of mind there to keep his Scourge alive. No reason to lose them like that. Shine has managed to build up a substantial force of Scourge to counter these Corsairs. If he can clone them well, he will be in good shape. Stork also with a Reaver out. I actually had not noticed that. He got a Robo-Bait and robotics facility and a robotics support bay, which is going to open up the pathway of Reavers here. I don't think Stork put down 2 Stargates, which is usually what you want to do if you want to go for Corsair Reavers, but Reavers, just a few by themselves, are very helpful. I think that is actually a great way for for Protoss to deal with Zerg. Get some Reavers in conjunction with their assault at the front. We see Meatless out here for Shine. That is a good way to deal with the Reaver. If he can destroy most of the Corsairs with his Scourge, he will be in great position to win this game. Stork coming out with his Shadow and his Corsairs doing a lot of damage. But this battle will be important here. Massive wave of Scourge coming, able to pick off 3 Corsairs, but 4 Corsairs. But the thing is, those Scourge weren't cloned very well, and Stork with 3 Corsairs left, still going to be able to take the field. More Scourge coming. Stork needs to be careful. The Scourge coming in to try to chase down the Shadow, but the Shadow with speed. Stork loves his speed Shadow. The Shadow is in danger of getting sandwiched by the Scourge, and somehow Stork escapes. That Shadow, one more hit on it. This is so tense. I cannot believe. And the Shadow goes down. Absolute disaster for Stork at the last minute. The Shadow going down. Oh, Shine by the skin of his teeth, shutting Stork down, and Stork was so close to preserving that Shadow. As it stands, Shine has actually lost quite a few more Scourge than he wants to in dealing with Stork's forces there, I have to say. And Stork, though, I have to say, he suffered the loss in that battle. He suffered more than he wanted to. He's got +1 attack upgrade finish on his Zealots. The thing is, Stork needed to get something done with that Speed Shuttle. It is expensive investment. He really didn't get anything done. Even though Shine lost, I would say, more units, probably. He's not going to mind that too much. Stork, though, considering investing into Shuttle and Reavers, would be wise to persist with that. At least get a Reaver to back up his ground assault force, which I think will be quite nice. And now we see a lot of Scourge coming out from Shine. He really wants to control the air, which I think is very good idea for a Zerg player, not to let the Protoss just run free off the map with Corsairs. That is always a recipe for disaster. And you never know what sort of havoc the Corsairs can cause, which if there are not many Hydralisks out to defend, or not many Scourge to keep the Corsairs at bay, the answer is almost invariably, I mean, basically the Corsairs can run free and kill whatever Overlords they want, and that is never good for a Zerg player. Stork with another Reaver out to defend his front here. And how critical was that Shuttle snipe so close? I thought Stork had perhaps escaped, but apparently not, and Stork gonna lose perhaps a Zealot or two here to these Mulists at the front. Again, tense game, I have to say, by both players. Stork almost escaping with that Shuttle. I just still can't believe how close that was. 2 more seconds and the Shuttle would have been safe under the cover of the cannons, or even like half a second the Shuttle would have unloaded its Reavers. And now Stork out with a lot more Corsairs and another Shuttle. He needs to get something done now. Wonders what Stork has loaded up in that Shuttle. That Shuttle is unescorted here. Big battle here. The Scourge getting destroyed mostly, but the Shuttle with a Dark Templar getting picked away at these Mulists. These Mulists taking massive damage from the Corsairs. They are desperately trying to finish off the Dark Templar, but was it worth it at the cost of almost all those Mulists? I am not convinced that it was worth it. And Shine's Air Force completely destroyed here. He's got maybe 1 Mulist left. He needs to get some more Scourge out to try to deal with this. Shine, though, has transitioned more to a Hydralisk army, and it will be very potent here. But Stork has seized the control in the air, and this is an opportunity, perhaps, for him to do some damage here, to attack either with a Storm drop or a Reaver drop of some sort. Shine, though, wants to move out with his ground army, perhaps to put some pressure on Stork there at the 12 o'clock base. I would imagine that's where he wants to attack. He is moving out a lot of units, Lurkers and Hydras. Stork has Reavers, though, which are critical. Wonder if he has any Observers. Surely he has some Observers to potentially deal with these Lurkers. Now, massive army massed up outside of the natural of Storks. They are going to go for the 12 o'clock base. Stork has entrenched himself with cannons and with some pylon blockade there. So this is going to, at the very least, delay Shine's army. Shine coming in, picking off the High Templar. Nice work there. Stork getting off a storm with his second High Templar. Why is Stork transferring his probes when he actually defended that base? That is just a technical mistake. And now Stork microing his Reavers quite well. That Shuttle almost going down, but the Observer going down in the front. What was Stork doing there? That's just a terrible mistake. It was close. If he had lost those probes running into Shine's army, that would be unrecoverable loss, I fear. Shine rallying forces to the front. This is going to be a battle that decides the game. Whoever prevails here will take the game. Stork has his Air Force. It would be wise, I feel, to send it out to hunt for some more units to kill. He has a good army of Corsair. Shine persisting with some Scourge, picking off another Corsair or two, but Stork still has 5 Corsairs at least in the air. Very powerful force. More Scourge coming in, picking off another Corsair, but Shine is taking more losses in Scourge than I feel he wants to in these little exchanges here. Shine loading up units for a drop. He's going to go for a drop at the 12 o'clock base. There is a Reaver there and quite a few cannons, but Stork may be able to catch this drop before it can unload its cargo, and it looks like Stork is going to be able to catch this drop, going to be able to kill at least one of the Overlords before losing one of his Corsairs, but certainly worth it to delay that drop. Shine, though, is going to persist with this, it looks like. And Stork pushing out here, trying to get position over some of these Lurkers here. Storm missing most of the units. The second Storm has a much better Storm there, although it did hit some of his own Zealots, and Stork managed to catch part of Shine's army off guard and destroying it. Now Shine bringing up his main force here, siege outside of Stork's natural. Stork attacking up the high ground with his Dragoons. Not sure where this is wise. Good Storm there over all sorts of Hydralisks. There is a Reaver and a Shuttle. It can cause massive damage. Shine looks like he is going to be able to take the field for now. High Templar under heavy assault there. Stork does not want to lose the High Templar. Observer going down. That Reaver with 5 kills. Could have more, I feel. Especially considering how clumped these units are, and Stork losing his last Corsair here, losing all sorts of High Templar to the Hydralisk. Great Storm here. He's still got 2 Reavers in the back. If he can protect those Reavers, he should be in a great position. There are only some Lurkers left against Reavers and Dragoons. That is not a good unit composition. Shine needs to pull back now, or send some reinforcements. He's got a fresh wave of Hydralisks coming in. These Hydralisks will be critical. Stork needs to bring his second Reaver into play. He's lost 1 Reaver. Great Storm by Stork here. Shine is not bothering to dodge these storms at all. If Stork had preserved a few more Templar, he would have won this game as already. Shine really streaming into reinforcements, trying to overwhelm Stork. Why is Stork not managing his second Reaver here? This is so sloppy and uncharacteristic of Stork. He's going to lose the game because he doesn't appear to have the presence of mind in this game anymore. This is not the Stork that we are used to seeing here. How could he not realize he has a second Reaver in the back there? That Reaver would have turned the tide of the battle long ago, but Stork is going to lose the game because he didn't seem to remember he has another Reaver in the back, and now that Reaver doesn't even have Scarabs left. The Reaver going down after causing great damage, and Stork with High Templar, some fresh High Templar coming out of his bases. Somehow Stork has still managed to hold his ground, and Shine has paused the assault here to build a few more Lurkers, giving Stork a chance to build some units of his own too. 4 base Zergon, 3 base Protoss. Very tense battles here, but Stork is in some danger here. He's going to lose a High Templar, getting off a pretty good storm. Stork putting down expansion there at the 11 o'clock. And Shine, he has the opportunity now to assault the front and break through, perhaps. Stork has the Reaver. Oh, okay, with the Reaver and the High Templar, perhaps Shine would be better off trying to attack 12 o'clock again. This time Stork with some great storms, and the Reaver is causing a lot of damage to Shine's army out in the front. And Shine's, pausing to await Lurker reinforcements. That was perhaps what's going to cost him the game, but no, Shine has a lot of units here at the front. It's just so hard to break through a Protoss force with Reavers and Templar defense there. Shine's going to take this chance to destroy Stork's army here, a small force in the north. But Stork has managed to mass himself up enough units to defend his natural without much of an issue. Now Shine really can't force his way through. He would be wise to shut down base at the 11 o'clock and perhaps try to assault the 12 o'clock base. I think that is the wisest choice for him now. He's got Stork contained. Stork forced to cancel that base at 11 o'clock. And Stork is really going to be down to 1 mining base soon enough. And he is unable to press out of his natural. So if Shine can take out the 12 o'clock, he will win this game. As it stands, Stork is in great danger. Still, he's going to have a tough time breaking his way out of his natural. Massive assault coming. They're going to pick away at the Reaver before the Reaver can get off another shot, picking also away at the Observer. So Shine is just going to besiege Stork here and win a longish game. Also a fairly good option. Stork, though, I mean, what can you say? He really should have done better in this game when he was controlling his field forces. It's so unfortunate. Shine now sending a small force to drop there at the 12 o'clock is exactly what he needed to do. Stork still has a Reaver there, actually, for defense. And these units will be able to cause massive damage here. The Reaver at risk of getting killed by the Lurkers. And the Reaver does, in fact, get killed by the Hydralisk. So Shine's attack there going very well, and now Shine pressing his advantage here at the natural with all sorts of units, no storms or Reavers incoming here. Shine has a massive backup force of Hydralisk here, and Stork is going to lose the game, I feel, at this point. Shine is sending the second wave. He's doing that right now. He has a third wave ready to go. Even if Stork somehow defeats his second wave, which he is able to do comfortably, Shine going to mobilize his third wave of units, and I'm not sure Stork can hold this off. Even if he does, he's going to suffer so many losses that he can't reinforce his position at the 12 o'clock. He will be mined out. I feel Shine going to lose a lot of units in this attack here. Looks like Stork able to hold off this wave of attacks again without too much of a problem. It looks like he's actually broken his way through. But Stork is not mining. That is the critical difference here. Shine is not only mining, he's got himself 3,000 gas in the bank. Whereas Stork, this is his last army here. If he can't do something, it doesn't look like he can, he is going to lose the game. Masses of storms killing so many units. Stork is forced to distance mine at this point, and Shine looks like is going to win the game at this point. Stork has no one to blame for him but himself at the critical battle. If he had that Reaver in play, Stork would have broken 3 of his contain and would have been fine. GG coming from Stork. It's so sad to see such a fine player make such a rookie mistake, not realizing that he has such a high value unit he could use. Shine winning the game, all credit to him, he played well.